3 most important lessons that I learned through these years. If you're gonna keep in mind these lessons, you will save your money, time, and you're gonna do less mistakes than I did in my time. Lesson number 1, your gear doesn't define your story. Back in 2013, I was studying as a student in the filmmaking school in the capital of my country, and my team from TV school took a part in the film festival. The idea was to create a short movie for 24 hours. So we were pitched by the idea, and after pitching, we had only 24 hours to complete the whole shooting process, idea and everything into a small video, which gonna be presented on the big screen on the festival. So what I'm saying, the gear doesn't matter. It's actually true, because when we took a part in this festival, we had only one camera, which was a small DSLR camera, and when we started to shoot, the battery went off, so we couldn't complete our shot. We couldn't even start the shot. So luckily we had the phone, and we started to shoot everything on the phone, which was really crappy. The quality was so bad, but beside that was an idea. We were following up the idea. And there was a lot of competitors on this festival who was from the production, from the bigger houses, who was taking part in the film festivals every year, and they were like having everything they need. They had like stabilizer systems, they had the sliders, they have a team. It was a lot of different type of equipment and professional cameras and lens choice and all you need to create beautiful movie. The idea of the festival actually was so strange. We used to find a way how we're gonna shoot it. So when the first day was finished, we had all our shots done on the phone. Finally, we started to edit. We spent night for this editing, and then we were presenting this short movie to people who was organizing this festival. And guess what? We got first place and we won the festival. If we would think too much of the equipment, probably we'll switch our attention to equipment side instead of switching ourselves to the idea. Don't get yourself focused on the gear that much. If you have a simple camera, this is more than enough to shoot whatever you want. These days, if you have anything what shoot 50 frames a second and can be used with the lens, this is already something. You know, you can put 24mm and shoot it wide open and tell your story. This is gonna be number 1 lesson that I would love to share with you as a filmmaker who's running a business for 11 years. I started myself as an editor in a TV channel after I finished my film school, and I was working as an editor and cameraman and light technician, sound technician. I was doing all the cycle of the production in the TV channel. It was a music TV channel, so we had a green screen, we had a studio, and because of that, I'm really happy that I have this knowledge, and that now I have my own studio in Thailand as a business. I'm pretty happy with this knowledge, and I would love to share this knowledge with you. One of my best projects I complete with this camera. I also did a lot of post-production. I learned a lot of things about DaVinci at that time, so I shoot the project on Sony 6500, and then I color grade it all together in DaVinci Resolve. And people weren't believing me when I was saying it was Sony 6500. Some of the people were saying, what model of RAW were you shooting? And I said like, it's Sony 6500. And it wasn't even in the log profile. It was a crop camera, and I had only 3 lenses. It was Sigma 30mm 1.4, which is really good lens for the crop. And I had the Pancake, really cheap lens, which is less than $100, 16mm, and I had the kit lens 55 to 200. And this video that you see right now was done on these 3 lenses plus Mavic 1, the drone that I used at that time. So all this together was color graded in the DaVinci Resolve. Resort, who was ordering this video from me, they was really happy with that. And this video were playing in all the network of the Ayana hotels in Indonesia, and I was really proud myself. And I completed the shot with the Sony 6500. After all these years, I had another cameras like Red and Blackmagic. It never was so fun to work with the light gear that you get used to, which is really easy to use. Because if I would have Red Komodo, for example, or Blackmagic on that project, 50% of the shots wouldn't be done this way that I did them at that time. So number 1 lesson, don't stick to your equipment, work with what you have. Maybe you will shoot your best project with this equipment, you never know. The tip number 2 that I would like to face up is, of course, to learn as much as you can. When I was starting to study in early 2013 as a filmmaker, I was actually director of TV program, so I had to learn how to direct and be a director on set of TV shows. when I was working after that on TV channel, I had to learn everything. I started with the edit, and it's really helped me to achieve the speed, because we had crazy amount of projects daily and we need to finish the TV program to be edited until, for example, 6 p.m. and the program was shot like at 10 a.m. So you had like 5-6 hours to complete half an hour TV show with multiple cameras, keying green screen, with the sound, and so on and so on. So working and forcing yourself to work faster in a limited condition when you have deadlines, it's always a good idea. Before this TV channel, I used to do some edits, but I was like really chilled. It could take me like a week to complete the project, but after I started to work on TV channels, I learned how to work in a time frame. So set yourself a time frame when you need to complete the project and try to achieve it. So again, the tip number 2 is learning as much as you can. This is mean shooting, editing, post-production, sound designing. As much as you learn, of course, that's gonna work for you in the future. You will find yourself a nice opportunity to work for someone or work for yourself as a filmmaker, you know, knowing all these things. With all these knowledges which I got through the years, now I can accomplish any type of project as a solo filmmaker, build a set, shoot and edit and color grade and sound design. Of course, it will take me a little bit more time, but I'm pretty proud that I can do it myself, and I don't need anybody else to do that. Of course, if the project is bigger, you need a bigger team, but this is a different type of story. So try to work in different role on every project you have. Try to use your knowledge for being a camera operator or editor or colorist or VFX artist or something. That's always going to help you in the future. All right, lesson number 3, which is pretty much common thing in my life. That's a gear trap. By getting in a gear trap, you're limiting yourself like in every aspect. So by having my 6500, Sony 6500, I decided to purchase myself a Blackmagic Cinema 4K. And I actually started to think that this camera gonna make my production level much more higher, you know, I will be more pro by having this camera. So we decided to buy this camera with my wife, and we went to the trip to Indonesia, to Lombok, and we were shooting vlogging stuff and a lot of stock footage. I made myself a lot of headache by getting the camera that I didn't know actually how to use properly. So it took me so much time to use this camera. Of course, I got some shots that were nice and the quality was nice, but I spent so much time on the post-production just to align it with the expectation level that I set for myself. So the gear trap was continued by that time, and the COVID starts, and I decided myself to purchase a Red Komodo, a camera that I also didn't know how to use. At that time I had my Sony 6500, I had my Blackmagic Cinema 4K, and then I got the Red Komodo 6K. I was shooting less with these cameras because I needed to prepare that, I needed to prepare this, and I always was searching for something new to finish the rig. Now through the years, after having 4 years Red Komodo, I already know this camera, and for me it's really easy to take this camera and use it for any project that I need. I started to shoot with the Red Komodo. It was still complicated. My shots actually become better with the Red because the quality was awesome. It was 6K, it was RAW. I already knew how to deal with the RAW because I was working with the Blackmagic, and previously on TV channels I used to shoot music videos as a director, and I had to handle a lot of RAW footage from different cameras. So if you're thinking of investment something that you don't know, you need to think twice, because if you shoot on a DSLR camera, which gives you a lot of flexibility, like focus, the memory capacity that you can shoot like hours in your camera. Buying a Red may be a problem. Even the Red now is dropped the price until 2099. You still need to buy memory cards, you still need to buy grips, you still need to buy adapters with the ND filters, you need to buy a matte box, you need to buy different lenses, maybe so much headache, and these things will really limit you in your creative way. Your audience doesn't know what gear are you using. use what you have, buy yourself a nice camera. The Red Komodo is a good camera, but there are many other cameras that are really perfect. I really like Sony cameras. If you like to shoot and you don't want to be limited with anything, get yourself Sony FX3, FX30, you know, something that's going to be really easy to manage. If you're going to get yourself a bigger camera like Red, it's going to limit you and 30% at least, or 50, you know, and you will probably mess up with the footage. You will have tons of noise, and the main point is being creative and not being limited. And this is what I experienced myself when I got in the gear trap. I was ordering these cameras and a lot of gear by limiting myself to tell the story, to make shoots that I had before. When I was in Indonesia, when I was traveling with my light camera and shooting a lot of different stuff, I was really happy. It was really light, it was a long life battery, it was autofocus, all these benefits that cinema cameras doesn't have. If you're planning in a video production or something, you of course will need a cinema camera. This must have in a house, but beside that you need simple camera to tell your stories on a daily basis. Which one of these 3 lessons hits harder for you? Please let me know in the comments. This is Jay from South House Studio. See you in the next one.